You ever have one of those mornings where you just know, before your first cup of coffee, that the universe is about to serve up a slice of pure, undiluted chaos? That was me, the second I stepped into the post office that day. Yeah, the same old place with the flickering lights and that stale smell of ink and lost hope. I mean, you walk in expecting 10 minutes of routine, grab your mail, maybe shoot the breeze with the postmaster, get out. But instead, you're greeted by a circus and, at the center ring, the queen of entitlement herself. You know the type. Every town's got at least one. We just happened to call ours Karen. Let me back up a sec. There she was, posted up at the front counter like she owned the whole zip code. Those neon pink nails tapping a rhythm that said, "I'm about to ruin everyone's day." Oversized sunglasses perched up like a tiara. She didn't even care it was gloomy as a funeral in there. And the look on her face? You'd think the post office was late delivering her crown jewels or something. The line behind me had that uneasy shuffle. Nobody sure if they should take out their phones or duck for cover. "Good morning, ma'am. How can I help?" "You." That was the postmaster, old Mr. Delaney, who's been there since I was knee-high. Gentle eyes, white hair, but you could tell he'd seen more drama in that lobby than most TV detectives. Karen didn't even look up. She barked, "I need all HOA mail. Every single piece. I'm entitled to it." That voice, sharp, cold, like she was auditioning for HOA Dictator, the musical. "Mr. Delaney tried to play it cool. "Ma'am, that's not how mail works. We can't hand out other people's letters." But I saw it, that tiny muscle in his jaw. That's the universal sign for, "Lord, give me strength." Karen's nostrils flared. "Illegal? I don't care. I am the HOA. I have rights. You think you can ignore me?" Her pitch just kept rising, bouncing off the post office walls and rattling my brain. She started quoting regulations from some HOA handbook. Sounded like she'd spent more time with that thing than with her own family. The energy in the room shifted. I swear, everyone took a tiny step back, holding their breath, waiting for the volcano to blow. And then it did. She slammed her hands down, leaning over that counter like she was going to physically rip the mail out. "Give me the mail. Now." Mr. Delaney finally snapped. Not with fear. No, with that special brand of, "I've had it up to here." He pointed straight at the door and said, "That's it. I'm calling the authorities." You could hear a pin drop. Karen's jaw hit the floor. For once, she didn't have a comeback. The tension just hung there, thick and heavy. You could feel the whole post office bracing for impact. Sure enough, a few minutes later, sirens cut through the sleepy morning. Not loud, just enough to send every kid and neighbor within a block peeking through their windows. Karen was still pacing, heels echoing like gunshots on tile, mumbling about her rights. When the officers walked in, two of them, tall, clean uniforms, that "we're not here for nonsense" look, the whole mood changed. Mr. Delaney wasted no time. "This woman is demanding other people's mail." Karen spun around, suddenly sweet. "I'm not taking anything. I'm just doing what's right for the HOA. Everyone else is too scared to act." The taller cop, Officer Franklin, gave her this look, one eyebrow, dead calm, like he was weighing whether to laugh or start taking notes for his memoir. "Ma'am, can you step aside and explain?" But she wouldn't budge. Oh no. She started quoting obscure HOA rules, threatening lawsuits, dropping names like confetti. Even took a swipe at the town council. Which, let's be real, wasn't winning any popularity contests. All the while, I'm back there with my bag, feeling like a bystander in a nature documentary. And here we see the wild Karen, defending her perceived territory. Eventually, Officer Franklin cut in. "Ma'am, calm down. Federal law says you can't have mail that's not yours." Now, Karen was shaking. Rage, frustration, disbelief, it was all mixed together. "Federal law? You're saying I'm powerless here? I run this neighborhood." It was almost comical if it hadn't been so tense. Then Mr. Delaney leaned forward and whispered something to the officers. Karen must have caught it, because she snapped. "What did you just say?" The officers looked at each other, and one said, "We'll escort you out if this continues." Karen froze, face pale, lips trembling. Then, predictably, she doubled down, planting herself like a linebacker, ready to go down swinging. At this point, the female officer, Officer Harris, stepped up, calm, but you could tell she wasn't playing around. "Ma'am, you're disrupting business and violating federal law. Please step away from the counter." Karen just scoffed. "I'm saving this community from chaos. You think I'll let incompetent postal workers ruin the HOA?" The anxiety in the room felt electric. Even a little kid clung to his mom's hand, wide-eyed. "Ma'am, you need to leave or we'll have to take action," Officer Franklin said. Karen's face flushed beet red. She started to scream, but before she could let loose, Mr. Delaney put his foot down, voice strong, tired, but unbreakable. "Enough. You're not getting anyone's mail. Last warning." Karen shot me a glare, like I was somehow egging this all on. You're encouraging this?" she hissed. Before I could even answer, she lunged for the mail bins. It all happened in a blur. Officers blocked her path. Officer Harris gently, but firmly, caught her arm. "You are not above the law." That's when the fear finally hit her. Her bravado cracked wide open, just for a second. And then, she let out this ear-splitting scream, sunglasses flying, stumbling backward so hard she nearly knocked herself out on the swinging door. The cops moved in quick, restraining her just enough to keep the chaos contained. She was still yelling, demands, rights, threats, but each word sounded smaller, like she could feel the walls closing in. It hit me right there, watching it all unfold, that this wasn't a normal HOA spat. This was a showdown, her ego versus, well, reality. The post office had turned into a war zone, Karen's voice clashing with the steady, patient firmness of law enforcement. The rest of us? We just watched, quiet, awestruck, maybe a little afraid. The officers kept telling her, "It's a federal offense, ma'am. You can't just take other people's mail." Karen, red-faced and breathless, tried the whole, "You're just trying to intimidate me. I know my rights." Officer Franklin, bless him, finally laid down the law. "Your rights end where other people's begin." I swear, I saw her wilt a little right then. But, being Karen, she had one more scene in her. She tried to grab another mail bin, tripped, and sent envelopes flying like confetti at a sad parade. One landed at my feet, my neighbor's name scrawled across it. I looked at it, then at her, then at the officers. Yeah, it was as real as it gets. Officer Harris helped her up, voice gentle but steely. "You're not in control here. Sit down." Karen finally slumped into a chair, muttering curses at anyone who looked her way, hair a mess, sunglasses broken at her feet. Just when you thought it couldn't get weirder, in walked Mr. Phillips, the HOA president. Himself, suit pressed, clipboard in hand, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. Karen locked eyes with him and wailed, "See? Nobody respects the rules. Everyone's out to get me." "Mr. Phillips barely blinked. "Karen, you have no authority here. None. Stop this before you embarrass yourself further." For the first time all day, Karen fell completely silent. Everyone could feel it the moment she realized nobody was going to back her up, not even her own boss. The officers stood ready, the postmaster wiped his brow, and the whole crowd of regulars leaned in, mesmerized. The tension finally snapped when Karen, trembling, reached for yet another letter. Officer Harris stepped in, gentle but firm. "Ma'am, enough." That's when Karen caught her heel on a pile of mail and toppled over a metal tray. The crash echoed like a starter pistol. Mr. Phillips sighed so deep you'd think he was trying to breathe out all the HOA drama of his entire career. The officers took her by the arm. No more warnings. "Ma'am, last chance. Leave peacefully or you're coming with us." Karen tried one last time, voice cracking. "I'm entitled. You'll all regret this. This isn't over." But that was it. They walked her out, her protests now more sad than scary, the fire gone from her eyes. As the doors swung shut behind her, the post office let out a collective sigh. "Mr. Delaney muttered, "Never thought I'd see a full-on siege at my counter." I finally relaxed, dropping into a chair, half laughing, half shaking. The rest of the folks just shook their heads. Some whispering, others just staring, stunned at what they'd seen. Outside, the circus wasn't quite over. Karen, out by her car, was still spitting mad, waving her arms, the HOA president trying to talk her down, officers right behind, ready in case she tried another round. She finally crumbled, the adrenaline running out. "I'm entitled," she whispered, like maybe if she said it enough, the universe would start to care. But all she got was a seat in the back of the squad car, Officer Franklin closing the door with a click that sounded like closure. Standing there in the aftermath, scattered mail, appended bins, neighbors gathering to gossip, I realized this was more than just a petty suburban power struggle. This was a warning. Let entitlement run unchecked. And all it takes is one Karen to turn a normal morning into the next viral train wreck. So, I gotta ask, what would you have done if you were standing in my shoes? Ever seen someone take on entitled to a level that made your jaw drop? Hit that like button, drop your wildest HOA story or your justice served moment in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, because trust me, in this neighborhood, the next story is always right around the corner.